Greetings, I'm Chappers. How are you doing? It's been a long time since I spoke to you because I've just had so many things on. I've been so incredibly busy. And those aren't really excuses, it's just the truth. And I figured I'd tell you all the wondrous journeys and adventures that I have been on in the past several months, many of which I've been unable to share with you for either business reasons or reasons of fatigue. I wrote a list in bed because there were so many things, and I figured probably best just to write a list and make sure I cover everything. This is a long video, so if you really intend to watch the whole thing, go make a drink. I made a mango smoothie because coffee is broken. Coffee isn't working for me anymore, and I think fruit and almond milk is going to be better for me. That fresh almond kick. So I guess the first thing to say is, obviously, unless you don't know, Chapman Guitars has at last launched its new website. Yay! It's taken long enough. We've had a lot to do. Blood, sweat, tear, every kind of bodily fluid was drained in the process of bringing these 29 new guitars to market. It's been a marathon journey, and we couldn't really share a lot of it with you because in the past there have been occasions where we have been copied by other brands, and so it was important for us to keep so many new models under wraps until the last kind of minute, and then let the spec out at the last minute. Basically, we couldn't really bring you along for the refresh of the entire brand. So it was very out of character for Chapman Guitars. It left me feeling quite uncomfortable, actually, because I'm used to just going, hey guys, guess what? We can do steel frets. It's going to be really cool. We can do this. We can do that. There are going to be new design features. We can do all sorts of things, because I had to protect and serve Chapman Guitars. So I hope you understand. It's the only time really ever that I think Chapman would go through such a process, and now we're back to the standard voting on polls, democracy, collaborative designed guitar designs. And the first one we're kicking off with is the left-handed southpaw vote, which will be, I think, even maybe next week. I think I'll start doing that, and it's going to be really fun. We're going to I'll tell you all about it then. But left-handed people will be happy, I hope. 29 new guitars, website's up, it's there, bing! You can check it out, really proud of that. My God, the team have just done such an amazing job. Johnny, Joe, Matt, Lee, Nat, Sophie, Dan, Bea. There's a lot of people now. But in particular, really, I should thank Johnny, Joe, Matt, because they put so much in, and it's been, honestly, guys, it's been so hard, but so worth it, and I'm immensely proud of what we've managed to achieve, because I think in a way, although the legacy is there, the heritage is there for Chapman, and we've made some incredible guitars, I really feel like it was almost the birth of Chapman becoming a real guitar company. Not that we weren't a real guitar company, but I think the general perception of us was that it's just a guy in a bedroom who has an idea and just tells a factory to do something, which is, well, it kind of is, but there's a lot more to it than that. And I think really what we wanted with this like renaissance was that it was the rebirth and refresh of a brand and almost the launch of Chapman from now. Things are going to look really cool. And we've also got loads more options available to us for designs and things, and just basically life is easier, which is really great. So thank you for your support. Thank you for the several hundred of you who've already ordered guitars. Apologies if you wanted to order a guitar and it's now sold out, which is the case in some areas and some of the designs. We'll just have to make more. I guess we underestimated the power of the string side. So that's Chapman Guitars, and I'm playing the ML3 Pro Modern, and formerly this I suppose would have been called the ML3 RC, and I don't have a signature model this run, and someone was asking me why, and I thought I was trying to think of a fun answer and an interesting answer, but really the thing is, it's my guitar company, and every guitar has my name on the headstock, so kind of it just feels a bit weird to make myself a signature. I don't know, maybe I will again at some point, but it just felt egotistical and a bit weird. Although oddly enough, my signatures were some of the best-selling guitars in the range. I just feel like they're all a little bit of me. And what I might do at some point is just do like what Paul Reed Smith does, Paul's Guitars, where it's not a signature model, but he works on a model and then presents it. I might work on a model and present it, and you can be happy with your, multi-scale tri-necked V in metallic pink. But until then, I just use whichever Chapmans I think are doing me things at the time. Right now I'm loving the Vs, as you can probably tell. Loving this, because it's just insane. And, you know what? I've got so many guitars in this house, and I just pick them all up and I love them all. And they're all kind of equal, kind of. I will be travelling soon. I'm off on my voyages of discovery to several new places. So first of all, I'm going to Indonesia in a couple of weeks' time to visit the Indonesian Chapman Guitars factory. They're cool, and I'm looking forward to a number of things. A, meeting the people that make the guitars. B, experiencing Indonesian culture, and in particular food. Because I'm a big fan of satay, because I grew up in Amsterdam and Holland, and they have a lot of, I think the Dutch invaded Indonesia. People invade a lot of places, it's bad. And they brought satay back with them. And so I grew up loving Indonesian peanut sauce. It's just immense. The beaches look stunning. But most of all, I'm looking forward to see how they build the more affordable Chapman standard range by hand. No CNC, just cutting everything like that. And they do a fantastic job. I've got a load of them here, and it's just mind-blowing to me how good these guitars are for the price as well. So I want to go over there and check it out firsthand. Already, Matt and Johnny have been over and sort of checked the factory's cool, everyone's happy, which is really good. And it's just my turn, really, just as me, to go over and go, hey, thank you for doing this. Show me how you do it a bit more. So that's Indonesia. Then I'm off to Germany with Dorje. We're playing a really cool tour in May. And that's the first time that we will have toured anywhere in Europe other than England, which for me is mind-blowing. I don't really understand why that's the case. But yeah, Germany is the first place to have embraced the Dorje. And I'm looking forward to it a lot. I'm looking forward to the famous German hospitality that we always get from Thomann. And I'd love to say I'm looking forward to tasting some of the German ales and beers, but as a vocalist, that's just not going to be a thing that happens, unfortunately. In June/July, I'm off to California and I'm visiting a company that I'm working with and shooting some videos with them in Coachella and some other places. And then I am off on a 2-week tour. So this is the first time that I'll be running the Rob Chapman I See Shred People guitar clinic in America. And I'm doing 2 weeks all up the west coast of America, starting in California somewhere, going all the way up. It's going to be really, really cool. So the Rob Chapman West Coast American Tour dates, venues and tickets will all be available soon. They're not yet. And it literally is just me backing track. I'll play a bunch of tunes and then we'll do some Q&A. I'll teach you some things. You can ask me anything you want about myself, YouTube, Chapman Guitars, Dorje, my own solo music. And I'll have sort of 4 or 5 Chapman Guitars with me you can try out. It's not a Chapman Guitars tour. It's a Rob Chapman I See Shred People clinic tour. And I'm really looking forward to some of the American hospitality. It's going to be great fun. I'm taking Max with me. Max Taylor Grant, the famous photographer and tour manager for, amongst many people, 12 Foot Ninja. He's a great guy. See you there, Max. I got a new car. I got a new car because my other car died. And it was a real shame because I'm an emotional car owner. When I get a car, I kind of feel like it's my friend. And I give them names. My last car was called River. And before that, my car was called Forest. And so River just died gradually, bit by bit. It was time to say goodbye and find something a bit more family-oriented. So I got myself a Volvo. But I got a V50 Sport, and it's 2009. So I kind of feel like it's a bit more... It's still man. It's still kind of, yeah, I got a car. But it's like a family car. So I think that's a good thing. I called it Winston. Winston. That's the best name you could ever give a car. Or a child. I don't know why I didn't call my child Winston. I got a coffee at the Crocodile Cafe recently. And there was a new guy working there. And he made a great coffee. And I went, what's your name, dude? He went, Winston. And I stopped in my tracks. And I went, that's a damn fine name. And he went, everyone says that. Winston. So my car's called Winston. It was pretty mind-blowing doing the Larvik Guitar Festival. There were a load of things that happened that I didn't get on camera because it just wasn't really appropriate to film them, which was a bit of a shame. So, but I just wanted to share with you some of the highlights that Rabia and I experienced sort of when we were in Norway at the Larvik Guitar Festival. By the way, if you haven't seen it, check out Rabia Massad's YouTube video of his experience because it's really, really good. He's got a wicked camera. People always say that. He's a great videographer. And he's using good tools. And you should check it out. It's a good bit of video. So when we were there, we did the Dorje clinic thing, and we were playing all the backing tracks and then answering questions. It was really good fun. And something that struck us, that's kind of unique about Scandinavia is that the people are very polite and they take it in turns to ask questions. Kind of one person will put a hand up, and then when they're done, people kind of look around, and when it's time for another question, one person puts a hand up. It's really good. No one like shouts out, what string gauge do you use or something, or just like, it's weird. They're really polite. Probably because if shit goes down in Norway, you're going to be dead. It's grim. You get thrown in the sea or something. So, but backstage, there's like a nice green room with sandwiches and toilet, which is always nice, and a kettle. He'd be amazed how many green rooms I've been to where I'm like, can I make a cup of tea? And they're like, we haven't got a kettle, mate. And I'm like, well, I need tea for my voice. There's a hot tap there, plastic cups there. And so we were backstage enjoying all this amazing, food and drink and stuff. It's great when you're a guitar player and you're just playing guitar and you can eat sandwiches and drink beer and things. And Paul Gilbert just casually walks in and starts chatting, and of course I'm a million miles an hour asking questions and things. And it was funny, he actually thought that we'd known each other before for a while, but we hadn't at all. It's purely just that he'd seen my YouTube videos and just felt like he thought he knew who I was still, which is really cool. So I asked him loads and loads of questions about technique and things that you'd expect me to do. And I kind of came to, and I'd had like a half an hour picking lesson from Paul Gilbert, which is it's just the best thing you can experience, really. And then about rhythm and all sorts of things. It was really good. He's a lovely guy. And Mike Keneally walked in, And I have to say, I'm a big fan of Mike and the projects he's worked in, things like Zappa and Satriani. And I mean, the term musician doesn't really seem to cover things that Mike's done. He is insane. And I was kind of not testing him, but testing him. And I was like, so can you play any Zappa song at all? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And I went, can you play The Black Page? And he just, without hesitation, started playing Black Page. Now, if you don't know what The Black Page is, look up Black Page and Steve Vai or Dweezil Zappa or whatever. It was written as a test to audition drummers. And he just plays this thing. And at one point he kind of lost himself, air drummed a bit, and then carried on. And me and Bia were just like, what the fuck? This guy is a monster. Absolute monster. And he can shred, and he's got feel, and he's lovely. Really nice guy. And he told me to stay in touch. So I Facebook messaged him, and I haven't heard back yet, which is a shame. But Mike, if you're there, just massively inspiring. And also thank you so much for turning me up on stage. Much appreciated. So the camera turned off. I'm not sure whether it was an awkward point or whatever, but I ain't got time to bleed. So I don't have time to work out what it was I didn't do. Unfortunately, I'm recovering from a fever. Theodore got ill, and then of course I got ill. Like father, like son. I'm moving. Check that out. Again. Landlord wants to sell this house, so we're off. Found a really cool place, much more central in Brighton, so I get to get my hangs with my friends and just go out for coffees and things. And yeah, it's going to be really good. I'm also working on getting a nice video space to work from, so it should be back to something that looks a bit more fun than just a room like this, because this kind of, although it's sufficient, and I'm sure many people would be very happy to have a little room like this, I don't have enough room in my little room for the 29 new guitars plus the 8-10 prototypes, and then my 50 to 60 other guitars, and then all the gear. I can't fit it in the room, and it does my head in that my house is just full of gear. I mean, I love gear, but when you're sitting down to eat an Indian takeaway and binge watch a bit of Netflix, by the way, watch Luke Cage. It is sick. And watch Louis C.K.'s latest thing on Netflix as well. I feel like I'm chatting to a mate in a pub, but Louis C.K.'s latest stand-up on Netflix is so funny. He is the darkest, most wrong person, but it's really funny. Yeah, I don't know. You can't do that when you've got a house full of amps and guitars and things, so we're moving. And I'm glad of it. There you go. I hope any of this was in any way relevant or helpful for you. If you're in America, I'll see you guys soon on the West Coast. If you're in Germany, see you guys soon on the Dorje Tour. If you're in Indonesia, you never know, you might see me walking around. Take it easy. Chappers out. That's a left-handed salute for the left-handed Southport Army, who are going to assemble soon and build the most divisive instrument of destructive power of all time and space.